Hello everybody, my name is Sniping is Fun, and welcome you all back to my next Top 10 list here on YouTube to present to all of you. I know it's been a little while. I've been kind of busy with work and whatnot, so I haven't really been able to film any Top 10 lists, but I have been working on Top 10 lists among other things behind the scenes to get some videos ready for you guys. All in due time, those videos will come. Yet, here we are with another Top 10 list. This time, I'm tackling a subject that I'm actually quite accustomed to, especially because I kind of speculated on the series for about 2 freaking years. And that is Super Smash Bros. Now, we do know that on the Wii U and 3DS, Super Smash Bros. 4 was released back in 2014. And there is a rumor that there will also be a port of Smash Bros. 4 on the Switch. But one day, we are going to be seeing a Super Smash Bros. 5. And whether that's on the Switch or not, which since the fact that every single Smash Bros. New game, every new entry in the Smash Bros. Series has released on each system, each successor, N64 to GameCube to Wii U/3DS, the chances are of a Smash Bros. 5 happening on on the Switch are pretty much almost 100%. Here I am predicting a few, not really predicting, I basically am just here going to go over my top 10 newcomers that I see that as of now I feel stand a chance to be in the next Super Smash Bros. Super Smash Bros. 5. I know I basically said that my first roster would not be until next year, but this ain't no roster. This is a top 10 list, and this is a top 10 list of newcomers that I feel, like I said before, as of now, that could all change in a year or two, that as of now makes sense for the next Super Smash Bros. Game, the next new one. Not a port of 4, the next new Super Smash Bros. Which would basically be 5. And this is going to be part 1 with numbers 10 through 6, and I am officially going to, from now on, split them off without recording the entire freaking video in one go and then splitting them off like I did the last couple lists. So let's get started with number 10. Phoenix Wright. Now, some people probably wouldn't really go too far on the Phoenix Wright, bandwagon the character, that he really doesn't make much sense as a fighter, and he doesn't really fit in all that much. But he is one of the most popular, Ace Attorney is one of the most popular Capcom franchises, and every single entry in that series is associated with Nintendo. Not saying it's entirely associated with Nintendo, the series has been on phones and whatnot before, but dating back to the Game Boy Advance with the Japanese versions of the Ace Attorney series, and then the re-releases that were localized on the DS and the 3DS, the Ace Attorney series has become huge with Capcom, and quite frankly, huge as a third-party franchise on Nintendo. Close connections. This is one of the third-party franchises from Capcom that have real, or otherwise doesn't necessarily have to be Capcom, that are so closely tied to Nintendo, and it's still getting games. The franchise to this day, all these years later, are still getting games, and I can almost guarantee you, the Switch is going to get at least one Ace Attorney game. Phoenix Wright is hugely popular. The whole "hold it, an objection," are huge memes or huge video game catchphrases and everything. The character made it in the Marvel vs. Capcom 3, probably in Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. That's another list for another day. And the moveset is going to be crazy, wacky, attorney pointing fingers. Maya might pop up maybe as like a small little thing to throw whatever, like she does in Marvel vs. Capcom 3. He can do a big giant objection as a final smash. It would just be glorious of a moveset. Glorious of a character that a lot of people do actually quite want. He is not the most wanted third-party character. He's not the most likely third-party character. But he is there and has a chance. And I am, in my opinion, after Ryu and after Mega Man, he is, in my opinion, the next choice for the next obvious choice for a third-party character from Capcom. And there you go. There's my number 10. Let's get on to number 9. Elma from Zelda Chronicles X. The first Xenoblade Chronicles was such a huge kind of phenomenon. One of three games of Operation Rainfall. A lot of Western gamers wanted these games too. They were huge. It was a huge game all across the world. Like, it was released in Japan, it received some success. In Europe, and it received some success. And since it wasn't playing in America, every gamer pretty much freaking banded together to get the game here. It's one of the best RPGs in a long freaking time. One of the best games on the Wii. And Shulk and the rest of the cast were such interesting characters, interesting story, interesting gameplay. And Shulk was so freaking popular enough to be brought into Super Smash Bros. 4 and was super well received. The sequel could very well warrant another character and give Shulk a companion partner. Xenoblade Chronicles X was probably one of the biggest RPGs, one of the biggest games released on the Wii U. It's still got, people are still playing it. It might be one of the games they might be putting on the Switch. It is a franchise, Xenoblade, that Nintendo more than likely will continue with. There will be a Xenoblade 3 more than likely, and Xenoblade blah, 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 4, 5, 6. The series is going to continue. Shulk's going to stay in Smash Bros. It's pretty freaking obvious, not only to represent Xenoblade and the history and the popularity of that series, but the fact that it's going to continue, and the fact that he's so well received. Give him a partner. And I say Elma because she's the major character in that game. Now, I know the main character is technically Cross, is your avatar character, but you know what? It's kind of a bland slate, and I'd rather have a character that has a personality. She has a personality. She's a cool female badass character that just uses blaster rifles and all these weapons, and their final smash could be a freaking doll that comes down on the stage and wreaks freaking havoc on everything. Where can you go wrong? And she's an awesome female representation for the game. Her moveset would be diverse. She does use different weapons in the game. And like I said, the doll could be a final smash. And it's some way to accompany Shulk and push the Xenoblade franchise even further. And it's going to be a franchise that's going to continue. So I do believe, regardless of it's Elma or not, Shulk is going to get a companion partner from a future Xenoblade game anyways. So I'm pushing for Elma because right now she makes the most freaking sense. That's my number 9. Here's my number 8. Captain Toad! Because Toad finally has a character, finally has a personality, finally has a definitive player choice to pick from. For years, people have been wanting Toad in Smash Bros. People say, "Oh, put Toad in Smash Bros." He's an iconic character that's been around since day one. He's playable in Mario Brothers 2, and in the Mario, New Super Mario Brothers games, and all this, Super Mario 3D World, and all this other stuff. He's been around. He has historical status in the franchise, regardless if he's playable or not. And he's been in all the side games and everything. But he's always been a very side character. The Toad is like a race of people, and there was never really one specific Toad besides like Toadsworth or Toadette or whatever. So it's like Toad. We finally have a Toad that has one singular character. It's not the entire race all together. It's one flipping Toad. That's Captain Toad, and it could be an original moveset too. Like, 2 reasons I'd say Captain Toad makes quite a bit of sense. One, he's got his own franchise now. He's got his own personality, his own character, like I just basically mentioned. Captain Toad was well received in Super Mario 3D World as the little mini levels, and it got its own game treasure tracker, which I can guarantee you there's going to be more Captain Toad games in the future. He's not going to disappear. It's not his last appearance in his own game. On top of that, we have a Toad that has an original moveset. We're in the backpack. Yeah, I know Toad can't jump. Captain Toad can't jump, but you could use one of his special attacks to maneuver him. Give us a character that has diversity, a character that can't jump, and players have to find out how to use their special techniques and their attacks and everything to maneuver around the stage. He can use all the different pickaxe stuff and all the different abilities he has in the game, all the puzzle stuff, and it could be something slightly different, rather than generic Toad, who would probably fight a lot like Mario and Luigi, doing fireballs and spin attacks and item stuff. This is a Toad that is original, and it's a Toad that stands out different from everyone else in the Mario franchise that's already in Smash Brothers. That's my number 8. My number 7 is going to be Impa from The Legend of Zelda, because she's such a freaking classic character, and the fact that she has not been in Smash Brothers to this day, given how much of a connection she has with the franchise, astonishes me to no flippin' end. She's been around since day one. Now, I know she hasn't been in every single freaking game, but she's been in a decent bulk, and she has actually had a resurgence in the franchise lately. She was in the original, old lady Impa. She was in the first one and the second one. And then she disappeared, I think, until, Ocarina of Time, which we had the cool ninja Sheikah Impa, the younger one. And then there was the fat Impa from, like, the Oracle games. And then she disappeared for such a freaking long time until, like, she reappeared in Skyward Sword, which was, its 25th anniversary of the Zelda franchise. She returned there, was in Link Between Worlds, she was in Hyrule Warriors, and due to the fact that, Breath of the Wild has such a flippin' connection to the Sheikah, you can almost guarantee Sheikah is, because of the Sheikah, that Impa is going to pretty much show up in Breath of the Wild. She's going to be somehow connected to the story and probably one of the characters that's going to show up. She has such a connection. She's been with the series long enough. She's had a resurgence. She's been brought back. I know for years she wasn't there, but now she's back in the series, and she's been in pretty much almost every single game since then, or at least, referenced or something. And she has an original moveset. I know Sheik, she fights a lot like Sheik, but here's the thing. You could take her moveset from Hyrule Warriors with her sword and basically make her moveset Sheik with a giant freaking sword that's going to kick your butt while doing her ninja techniques all the way around the arena with a big giant sword, and you could do that. Like, take the Hyrule Warriors style and make her original. She's requested a whole freaking lot. Like, she is so flippin' popular. She's probably one of the most requested characters I've seen, at least in terms of Zelda representation. But, in terms of every franchise compared, there she goes. And why is she not in? She's the last of the major, 4 characters in the game. We have Link, Ganondorf, and Zelda. Where's Impa? She's the 4th one! And like I said, she's still relevant to the franchise. As of now, she still is relevant, and in the foreseeable future, she still is relevant to the Zelda games. Now, if she disappears from the Zelda games again, like she did after Ocarina of Time until Skyward Sword, sure, maybe her chances are slim and they put another Zelda character, like one of the villains or something. But as of now, she's still being used. So why not add her? That was my number 7. We are at number 6 on this list. Number 6 goes to, and I'm cheating here a bit, but it's my list, so I really don't care, a new Fire Emblem character. Yay! Now, I'm not necessarily saying it's going to be one of these guys, because some of these people are already in the game, like Ike and Roy and Marth. They're already in the game. I just picked this picture because it was showing multiple Fire Emblem characters in general. A new Fire Emblem character. And then because the Fire Emblem series has gotten huge, the Fire Emblems... Now, I'm not picking a choice because we don't know who it's going to be. It could be an old character through a remake or a new character for a future new game. But like I said, Fire Emblem has become a huge franchise lately. Intelligent Systems kicked butt with Awakening, brought the series back from the dead, and kicked butt with Fates. The series is hugely popular. It's gotten 6 characters in Smash Bros. 4. And the series is more recognized now, more than ever, as one of Nintendo's best franchises. And it has so many flipping good characters to pick from. Old and new. Characters from past games, and obviously we're going to get more and more and more Fire Emblem games once, more and more characters. So it's like, it's bound to be at least one. And I put it this low on the list mostly because this is almost a guarantee. Every single Smash Bros. Game since Melee, we've gotten at least one new Fire Emblem character. We got Roy and Marth in Melee, then we got Ike and Brawl, and then we got Robin, Lucina, Corrin, and then Roy back in 4. What future Fire Emblem characters do we have? There's such a diverse moveset. People, it's not just all swords. You have people that use, spears and lances, people that use axes, people that use hammers, people that use bows, people that could turn into animals or dragons or whatever, people that are thieves and use daggers, people that... There's a ton of different moves, a ton of different potential class types to represent, and we don't know who or what those class types are going to represent or what characters can be associated with those until further notice, because they always seem to go with the new Fire Emblem games. All the new Fire Emblem games come out, Roy's game was not even released yet. He was there as an advertisement. Ike was one of the newest characters. They added him. Awakening was one of the newest games. They added Robin and Lucina, and then Faith came out, so they added Corrin. So that's Fire Emblem 14. We're at 14 Fire Emblem games so far. Now Fire Emblem 15 is eventually going to come out, Fire Emblem 16, 17, 18, depending on who the major characters are in those games, who the major characters they're going to, fans are going to gravitate to, that Nintendo's going to push, Intelligent Systems going to push, and basically popularity will depend on who gets it in. Now whether it's a new game with new characters or a remake, it could be, it doesn't matter. Like, maybe they remake Fire Emblem 7 and you can throw in like Hector or Lynn, or maybe they remake 8 and you get Erika or Ephraim, or they remake Fire Emblem 5 and I think Sigurd is 5, or was it Leaf? 4 or 5, I know. One of those two. Whatever. Or maybe it's a new game and they have this like god character, like this monkey god character that has a thunder staff, and he's like, oh, I'm gonna kick butt, and it's all about him, whatever, I don't know. Like, or some ninja lady that can turn into an eagle. I don't know who the main characters are going to be, who the major characters from future games are going to be. It could be anyone. They could be wielding an axe. They could be wielding a spear. We don't know future Fire Emblem games until they come out. And whether it's a remake or it's a new game, old characters brought back or new characters shown, what class type they are, we have no idea. But once we see those characters and see who's popular and see who's demanded and see who's pushed by the company itself, Nintendo or Intelligent Systems, we should pretty much know for the next Smash Bros. Game who or what Fire Emblem character or characters we are going to see as newcomers. And that's it for Part 1, 10 through 6. Welcome. I hope that you all rejoin me in the next part, Part 2, when we go from 5 down to 1 with all the honorable mentions. Hope you guys like this list so far where we're at. And stay tuned for Part 2 for the rest of it. See you all in the next part.